Welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Eiderstein. Thank y'all for joining me today as we go ahead and we do today's reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. It's definitely a fantastic book and a fantastic daily reader. If you're looking for anything like that, I would highly recommend any James Allen book, but this daily meditations book really is fantastic. I've loved every reading so far. So I'm looking forward to yesterday's about the golden age and how that's really associated with divine love and understanding and getting ourselves out of the ways. It was pretty enlightening for me in the sense of just reminding me like where our intentions are supposed to be coming from, right? And also that not everyone is in the same place, and I've got to remember that. Sometimes I just expect people to be doing similarly to me, and that's not always the case. So I'm looking forward to today's, which is the 16th of April, and we'll see how this goes. So this will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning this will be the first time I read it on this podcast, so you get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go, April 16th of James Allen's Daily Meditations. Only the pure in heart can see God. Actually, it's only the pure in heart see God. He whose heart is centered on the supreme love does not brand and classify men. He does not seek to convert men to his own views, nor convince them of the superiority of his methods. Knowing the law of love, he lives it, and maintains the same calm attitude of mind and sweetness of heart towards all. The debased and the virtuous, the foolish and the wise, the learned and the unlearned, the selfish and the unselfish, receive alike the benediction of his tranquil thought. You can only attain to this supreme knowledge, this divine love, by unremitting endeavor in self-discipline and by gaining victory after victory over yourself. Enter into the new birth, and the love that does not die will awaken within you, and you will be at peace. That one hit home for me. That one definitely hit home for me. Really, I really relate to that. This is another reminder about what it actually means to practice divine love, right? It's reminding me of a saying that someone in recovery told me once, and it said, the God in you sees the God in me, and the God in me sees the God in you. Meaning, we all are on our own path, meaning we are the same. And there's no reason for me to put myself in a position of judgment over another human being. And that took me a while to understand. That took me a while to believe, honestly. I didn't know there was another way to think, another way to understand, another way to interpret or be with somebody. You know, I just didn't. I didn't know. I thought the only way to get through life was to be judgmental and condemning, to elevate myself above others. I didn't quite realize the full extent of these things. So we'll go ahead and we'll read this again. And even that first line, like sometimes my brain likes to slip in words, and I think that tells me a lot about my perspective and my understanding. So when I first read this, let me just read it and I'll tell you what the word I put in if you didn't catch it. The opening line is, only the pure in heart see God. So let's break that down again. Only the pure in heart see God. I said only the pure in heart can see God. Now that might seem inconsequential, but my initial reaction to that is I like to take cop-outs sometimes. I like to sit there and say, well, I'm pure in heart, but I don't always see God. No. That's not how this goes. I believe this is more true, or this is the actual truth. I like to add words and twist things a little bit sometimes so I can justify behaviors, or I can justify where I'm at, or justify not doing the work. I won't even know I'm doing it, but I think that slip of the tongue showed it. Only the pure in heart see God. So if I can't see God, if I don't see God in a situation, there's something going on in me. There's something that I'm stepping away from God for. My own selfishness, my own self-centeredness, my own fears, all of that stuff. All of that can come into play with this, right? All of it can. Because I like to excuse my selfish and self-centered behavior. I really do. And so I'll sit there and say, only the pure can see God. It doesn't mean I'm not pure because I'm not seeing God right now. No. If I am practicing divine love all the time, getting out of the way all the time, which I do believe is possible, it just takes a lot of work, like it says later on in this, I'll always see God in everyone, in every situation. I won't have to play this game. And this is a good reminder of that. This is a great reminder to have me remember that if I'm not seeing God, I've got to get out of the way. Because God's always there. The good. I'm using the term God because he uses it here, and he refers to God, and he refers to goodness. He refers to all of these other things that show up for us, right? And it's all important stuff like this, or all these perspectives fit here, whether you're talking about the nature of things, whether you're talking about the goodness, whether you're talking about society, whether you're talking about truth and honesty. Any barrier removes us from seeing that thing we are in service to. I like to keep it a little bit, the circle a little wider for anybody who would like to apply these principles, because these principles apply to anybody who would like them to, and they can improve your life, and they can give you purpose and direction, regardless of your religious belief or spiritual, or your understanding of a deity or whatever it might be, right? Your perspective on the cosmos, however you want to put that. So, but it is to remember that only the pure in heart see God. So when we act out of true and genuine, steadfast love for another human being, we will always see the truth and the God in another. So let's go to the main part of this. We're already getting into this for a bit. He whose heart is centered in the supreme love does not brand and classify men, does not seek to convert men to his own views, nor to convince them of the superiority of his methods. We don't lead with the chin. We don't preach from a spiritual mountaintop. We don't become condemning because we have an understanding that we don't believe someone else has. That's not how this works, I've found. That's not what we do here. How we do this is we allow them we allow someone the utmost dignity of their own journey 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Which is a pretty powerful thing to understand, I guess. We don't need to classify people. We don't seek to convert them. We don't go to them and tell them what they're doing is wrong. If they come and they ask, we give them our own experience. We give them our own understanding and perception, but we do not go out and condemn somebody. We just don't do it. Took me a while to understand that, honestly. I think knowing the law of love, he lives it and maintains the same calm attitude of mind and sweetness of heart towards all. The way I behave should not be conditional upon the person I'm dealing with. I shouldn't be dishonest. I feel like that's a level of dishonesty in a lot of ways, right? Like, I will always try to have that peaceful, loving state of mind, calm attitude of mind, and sweetness of heart towards all, and like have a genuine love and compassion for other people. I try to carry that into every experience I have. I really do try make the effort. It takes a lot sometimes because I like to get in the way. I like to get my experiences in the way, my judgments in the way, my insecurities and fears in the way. A lot of me shows up in my day-to-day living that I have to consciously make an effort to behave differently for. And that's okay. Honestly, that's okay. As long as I continue to grow past these things. So, the debased, he gives some categorizations here. The debased and the virtuous, the foolish and the wise, the learned and the unlearned, the selfish and the unselfish receive the same benediction of his tranquil thought. We treat everybody the same, regardless of our observations of their behavior. We treat them with love, understanding, and compassion. We give them so much more of ourselves than we realize. And we give them so much more love than we realize. And we allow them to be who they are. One thing I can trust about human beings is that they will be human. I believe for myself, and probably a common thing, you look at my judgment showing up, but I believe for myself, I expect people to have the same behaviors I do, and then I judge them when they do not. And there's an implicit arrogance in that, meaning that I know I'm doing the right thing all the time, and they should want to be like me, and that's just not true. Honestly, that's just not true. You know, like I am on my own journey as they are on their own journey. And we get to walk this journey together. And I can learn from every single person in some capacity. So, all of those dichotomies, all of those opposites he said, they are all the same. They're all the same person. So, they're all a human being living a spiritual life. You can only attain this supreme knowledge, this divine love, by unremitting endeavor in self-discipline. And by gaining victory after victory over yourself. So this is what I was talking about previously. This is a constant discipline, a constant practice, and a constant understanding that you will continue to show up, and you have to continue to work through that. And when you find a piece of yourself that you have the ability and the opportunity to change and work through, that's a victory. But we have to be diligent. We have to be persistent. We have to continue these victories and seeking that spiritual improvement, that spiritual path. That's a huge, huge thing. Because without it, without that desire to continue to grow, we will lose. We will continue to lose. Continue to harm ourselves and others. And that's just the truth. So it requires a attitude and dedication to practice this way of life. He ends it with this line: enter into the new birth, and the love that does not die will awaken within you, and you will be at peace. You will be at peace. What a way to end it. So enter into the new birth, enter into this new way of life. It says we are reborn, it says we have a new perspective, we have a new understanding. We get to step into this path of spiritual living, and we get the opportunity to act differently. When we act differently, we get to start thinking differently, and that's a pretty amazing opportunity to have, is what I think I forget a lot of times. I forget that I have a rare opportunity that not everyone gets, I don't think, to live two lives and walk this spiritual way of life. And the more vigorously I pursue it, the more peace and freedom I'm blessed with. And you can't beat that. What a way to live, right? So, that's where we'll end it today. A powerful reading about love and tolerance and getting out of the way of these things. So, very, very grateful for it. Thank y'all for joining me again today. Go over to our Facebook page, you give us a like or a follow, and you can now reach us or listen to us on Amazon Music. You can listen on podcasts or Spotify, or Anchor as well. So thank y'all for joining me as we continue to walk this world, walk this path, I guess. So thank you so much, and until next time, thanks.